It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. Every single major company, every single stock, Amazon, the US 10-year, Vanguard, everything. Gold, S&P, oil, it's just the list goes on. Berkshire Hathaway, the euro. What's your choice? Pick anything. Apple, Visa. The list keeps going. Everything's going to zero against Bitcoin.
You see that everything is going to continue to go to zero and crash towards non-existence against Bitcoin because Bitcoin is that one true hard money. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And with that, what's happening in Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you. Another cryptocurrency video. Taking a look at the market. Total 3 altcoin market. What do we see? The RSI has been putting in higher highs and higher lows. Just got into overbought territory. And as you got to look at the horizontals. We broke past this previous resistance that got flipped to support. And then right here, we came down and hit our head here before we ended up falling down to the floor, down to the about $300 billion range. And we could have had this candle right here to where we come back, maybe have a cool off back down to the 460 range. This could be just a continuation pattern. The RSI, as you see, is still putting in higher highs and higher lows. We could have this cool off a little bit further going into the halving. The area we have to pay attention to is this 460 range. If we do fall and break through this, the area that we have to pay attention to then is the $408 billion range. And then the RSI, you have to make sure that the RSI continues to make higher highs and higher lows. If it does have a retracement, don't freak out. This is just a buying opportunity, so keep that in mind. The Bitcoin dominance, current time is recording, is at 53.2. And right now, we did break this upwards macro support line, the trend's your friend to the end. But we came back down and just sort of tested the previous highs. And now we had a candle, a major wick to the upside. Is this rolling over? Are we going to break this macro trend line? If you look at the RSI, this has just been putting in higher highs and higher lows since way back in August of 2020. If we do break this trend, the trend's your friend to the end, we could then see a cool off, come back down to lower 40 to 45% range, but we have to be patient, wait and see. But it does look like an alt season is amongst us. Looking at Bitcoin's price right now, it's coming in at 43.6K, and we're just sort of stair-stepping our way up. If this RSI does come back down, the Bitcoin price may come back down and retest this area here. This would be a massive blow to the entire system, and then this would coincide with this dominance. The dominance might come up and have a final peak to this upside, reaching that 50 to 60, 58 to 60 range before ultimately having that fall back down. But looking here, if we do have this pullback, this would just be a continuation pattern and ready to blast off to the upside post halving, as a lot of people have been expecting. Looking at what Stock Money Lizards is saying, what he's saying, altcoins are following a typical pattern, all-time high, and a bear market accumulation phase concluded by the Bitcoin halving. Then you see the bull market in area 3. So right here, what are we seeing? Phase 2, we bottomed out and we start to come up to the upside. The halving's a few months away. Then after the halving, what do we have? Blast off to the upside. So look right here, phase 2, run up, trade sideways, blast up. We get overbought too early here in 2018 to 21 cycle and have a retracement. And then this is the pandemic dump and then a blast off. So as you see, these cycles just sort of rhyme, not exactly repeat, but they definitely do rhyme. So pay attention to that. Blast off could be coming soon. El Crypto Prof is also giving you his take on the altcoin market. Look at the MACD indicator. Right now, we've had a bullish flip and a continuation to the upside. And right now, if you look here versus here, this could be that massive run up that we've been waiting for. We just had this run up, but had a retracement as well. So could this be a bump and run patterns where we see a higher price action? That could be what's in the cards. From Stock Money Lizards, you see that we are now in an accumulation and a blow off phase. Cycle of life. You have accumulation and distribution, and in every distribution phase, that's the time to buy. Accumulation is when the time to sell. Buy. Right now, we have time for this to sell. This is the Bitcoin price. So as Bitcoin pulls up, it'll pull the market with it. Bit Harrington is reminding you to look at this. Ignore the price bubbles. 2x every year, 100,000 before 2025. So right now we're in 2024. The price action is up to 43.6K. So as you see, we are below these lines at 51.2, but how soon will we get back above this? And will we see that $100,000 target before the end of 2024? That could be what's in the cards. Either way you cut the cloth, Bitcoin is going exponential in the years to come. We have a lot of big players and big investment coming with this Bitcoin spot ETF. So let's hear what Coinbase has to say about the spot ETF when it gets approved. Let's check this out.
So this Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF for the U.S. markets, really as foundational and as big a deal as people are making it out to be. It's a structural market change for this asset class that's coming into its being. The noise and chatter around sort of this approval is certainly intensifying, and we'll see how things play out. But the way we see it is that there's going to be secular demand and funds flows that are going to be coming into this asset class, this asset in particular. And then when you couple that with the halving that's coming up, which will reduce the block subsidy that's on the supply side by half, those two factors will, I think, combine together to be pretty explosive. I think one thing that's I think reported on as but is really interesting that's happening behind the scenes as well is that Bitcoin's transaction fees are also at a relative high since 2020. And that's because the demand for Bitcoin block space has actually gone up in the last year because of these things like inscriptions and ordinals, which is kind of happening on the crypto native side. But what it will effectively do is it is providing additional miner revenue and additional security for the long-term future of the Bitcoin blockchain.
And then you hear it from Hassan Ahmad, and he's sitting here telling you that the Bitcoin spot ETF is a major, major, major play. It's a big deal. You should not look past it, because when the spot ETF comes, it's going to unleash that wall of money that people have been talking about since 2015, 16. If you were around the Bitcoin ecosystem back then, you heard ramblings of this. But at that time, it was more conspiratorial and people didn't really believe it. But right now, you're talking about hearing Coinbase, one of the biggest exchanges in the world, talking about this is a big deal. So if you haven't prepared and positioned yourself for it, what are you waiting for? And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.